975.
33 All-Star game. The 1987 edition, Maryland leading 13-6. Eric Nichols, the quarterback for Maryland, talking to offensive coordinator John Horville. And with Eric is Robert Jackson, his former teammate at Gaithersburg, headed for the University of Maryland. Eric Nichols did a great job, George, dumping it at the 2-yard line on that punt.
Well, that takes it was a good punt, a little luck, and the defensive back went for a fair catch, which is the right thing to do inside the 10-yard line.
Paul Romanchuk gives to his back. That is Gary Brown out of Williamsport High. Gary fumbled the last time he carried, and he was able to spin his way back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more. Tackled there by linebacker Kevin Rowley for Maryland.
You know, Angst, the defensive back who was going to receive the punt, is told anything inside the 10, take a fair catch and let it roll into the end zone. That time it backfired.
So it's going to be no gain on the play for Pennsylvania. Second down and 10. Rich Drayton checks back in for the Pennsylvania Stars. Rich, a 5'11", 185-pound wide receiver. Maybe the only pure wide receiver that Pennsylvania has on its roster because of the fact that they've had to use a lot of guys out of position. Not a lot of guys, but several players out of position because of the nature of the game. Only 33 players named to the All-Star team.
And another thing, a lot of these boys play two ways in high school, and they play more in one area than they do in others.
Jim Wildman, a Pennsylvania coach, as we look over his shoulder, he's got his team in the shadow of its end zone, down inside the 2-yard line. It's going to be second down and 10. They'll work from the eye. Drayton is put out wide to the right. There's Romanchuk's figures from 1986. Another fumble and a recovery and touchdown for Maryland, as Andre Jones was on the spot to pick up that fumble by Pennsylvania, and the DeMatha linebacker picked up Gary Brown's fumble and was right on the goal line and scored. And Maryland now jumps out to a 19-6 lead over Pennsylvania. Gary Brown fumbling for the second time, and this time down at the goal line, and Andre Thomas just picked it up and was right there for 6 points.
Great job by the defensive line. That's the third fumble by the tailbacks from Pennsylvania. They seem to be not getting a clean handoff, and you certainly don't want to fumble down in that area. Easy touchdown for them.
Quick turnover, and there's Andre Jones from DeMatha, headed for Lou Holtz's program at Notre Dame. And here is the point after attempt for Maryland. And the kick this time is good by Jimmy Walker. And we've got a timeout in the action here at Hershey in the Big 33 game. Maryland leads Pennsylvania 20-6. And we'll be back right after this. One of the many amusement attractions at Hershey Park, just across the street from Hershey Park Stadium. In the background there, that building is the Hershey Arena. And there is Andre Jones, linebacker headed for Notre Dame, who just scored a touchdown, picking up the fumble by Gary Brown. Mike Beasley is back to take Walker's kick, along with Gary Brown, and this is going to be Beasley at the 5-yard line. And he's down at the 18. Tripped up by Maryland's number 81, Santos Stevens, out of Forestville, headed for Temple University in Philadelphia. So there's Mike Beasley, an honorable mention USA Today All-American on the return, and Pennsylvania gets the ball back. And Pennsylvania trails 20-6 with just under 9 minutes left in this first half.
That was a fine open field tackle by Stevens. But you mentioned Jones before. He's going to Notre Dame, and he wants to be a diplomat, and he wants to learn Russian.
I know.
That's what he told me.
Here's Romanchuk on the delay. This is Brown. Brown at the 25. Sprints his way to the 30, and on the sidelines is roughed up and pushed out at the 35-yard line by Kevin Lyles, the first man, the strong safety, and then the cornerback Steve Bates came up and finished him off. So Gary Brown makes up a little bit from that fumble down at the goal line and gets a first down for Pennsylvania out at the 35.
They went to a draw play, and he shows his quickness here, but watch his left hand. See, he's pumping that football. It's getting way out there, and Joe Paterno's going to correct that, I guarantee you.
And if he doesn't, you will.
Hey, they pride themselves on not turning the ball over. When it's out there, somebody's going to take a swipe at it.
Who does he look like? Eric Dickerson, doesn't he?
A smaller version, yeah.
Smaller version of big Eric Dickerson. And this time, Romanchuk gives to Cosmo Perry, another tailback in there from Berwick High, headed to Citadel. Cosmic's got some good size, 6'2" with 200 pounds. He can play a little linebacker down there for Citadel. Tackle was made by Bill Douglas, the nose guard for Maryland, along with Kevin Lyles, the strong safety.
You know, if you look at the roster, you got some players going to Central State. You got some players going to Delaware State. It's not that they're not top-notch, big-time football players. It's that Proposition 48 that's keeping them out, and they're going to different schools.
Romanchik now with a 2nd down and 7 from inside the 40. Fake toss. Romanchik rolls to his left and overthrows the intended receiver. Terry Smith from Gateway, headed for Penn State, down at the 45-yard line of Maryland, but Romanchik just too high with that toss to Terry Smith. So it'll be 3rd down and about 7 for Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Stars, Jim Wildman on the sidelines.
98 Zigo, and you're on the phone.
That was excellent coverage by number 10 Bates from the Maryland team. He was right on the receiver.
98 Z-Go is the play that Jim Wildman just sent in for this 3rd and long. So we'll see what 98 Z-Go is. Eric Seaman checks in for Pennsylvania as a tight end. He is to the right side. Romanchuk on 3rd down and long. Over the middle, wide open Seaman, and he dropped it at the 37-yard line. Eric Seaman, who just checked in with the 98 Z-Go, tight end over the middle, wide open, and he dropped it.
And he'll remember that. That's unfortunate. But, you know, that was a good play because it was 3rd and 7. You're usually looking for something short for the 1st down. They went for all the marbles. He was wide open, and he's going to think about that for a long time.
So Pennsylvania's into a punting situation. Punting the football will be Warren West, the wide receiver who has already caught a touchdown. John Snyder is back deep for Maryland. And we have a whistle as he touched the ball with touchdown. Touchback down at the on the snap.
No, I think what he's calling that his knee touched. The ball can hit the ground. He can pick it up.
Right, he was down.
It must have been his knee. Let's see if we can pick it up.
One of those rarely seen situations. Yeah, there he goes. He goes down and touches his knee down, and he's automatically, that's a dead ball right there.
And that's the same as a turnover. That's the 5th turnover in the 1st half. You can't win football games. You put Maryland in excellent field position again.
So Warren West, instead of just bending over to pick it up, kneeled down to pick it up, and automatically he's down. The ball is spotted inside the 25. And here is Eric Nichols backing up, throwing as he backs up for Robert Jackson, and he just overthrew him in the end zone. Good coverage that time. Twin coverage in the secondary for Pennsylvania. Eric Nichols backing up through the ball about 45 yards.
Well, I think he threw it away. What happened that time, the cornerback took him across the field, and the free safety went over to help out. But he had other receivers that were open. I still think they should go back to that little short passing game that was so successful early, but who's to say they got plenty of points up there.
Eric Nichols headed to Central State, 6 of 11 in the game for 1 touchdown. He had pressure that time from Mark Spindler and Don Grimm. Spindler the tackle, Grimm the linebacker. Quick out, Jackson. And Jackson, after catching it, spins out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Lewis Riddick was there to shove him out. Lewis out of Penn Ridge in Percy, Pennsylvania, headed for the University of Pittsburgh.
Well, he must have heard me because I would do this all day long when a cornerback playing 5 off, because if he misses the tackle, Jackson's going to go for a touchdown. And he's a big, strong wide receiver at this stage in his life, 6'3", 195 pounds. He's tough to bring down.
7:24 left in the 1st half, and Maryland leads 20-6. They're driving. They're at Pennsylvania's 20-yard line. 3rd down and 7 for Eric Nichols, number 9, the quarterback from Gaithersburg High. Nichols back between his tailbacks, lofts it up for Jackson. He's got it for the touchdown. Robert Jackson with a great catch with the coverage by Steve Ongst, who was running number to number with him. And once again, George, he just laid it up there for his teammate for the touchdown.
Well, that time he just gave him a little fake on the out, turned it upfield, and Nichols knows what he can do. Laid it out there. You get a receiver like that, you can adjust the ball with great speed, let him run to the football. You'll see this. A lot of poise by Nichols. Just drifts to the right, lays it out there, and lets Robert Jackson do his thing. Touchdown.
Boy, Steve Ongst is doing everything he can to prevent it. Jackson with a little bit of a size advantage. And look at the touch by the quarterback, Nichols.
Right. He gets it out there. And sometimes you can have perfect coverage if it's a perfect pass, and the receiver's taller than the defensive back, you're going to get a reception.
The kick by Walker is no good. So Walker's point after is missed. And we've got a timeout on the action here in the 2nd quarter from Hershey with the score. The Maryland offense. Pennsylvania. I'm Harry Donahue along with George Paterno and Chris Fowler. 4.5 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter, and there's the story so far. Maryland leading over Pennsylvania. Maryland trying for its first win in 3 games against the Pennsylvania All-Stars in this Big 33 Classic. Some great players, George, have played here at Hershey Park Stadium, going back to the likes of Herb Adderley out of Northeast High in Philadelphia. Of course, Michigan State, an All-Pro with the Green Bay Packers. How about the quarterbacks that have played in this
How about
game?
Namath, Montana, Marino, Kelly? I mean,
well, you could win some ball games with those guys, wouldn't you?
I like to have their salaries. That's what
The quarterback for Pennsylvania now is Romanchik. The toss. Gary Brown held on to it, and Gary's finally wrestled out of bounds as he got to about the 20-yard line. Gary's had a tough night holding on to the football. He coughed it up on the goal line. It led to a touchdown for Maryland as Kevin Rowley, the linebacker, headed for Howard University out of Woodlawn High, made the stop, and helping to push out. The running back was Kevin Lyles, headed for Boston College out of Calvert Hall, outside Baltimore.
Coach Mears said this is the best group of players they've ever brought from Maryland. Now you know what he was talking about, because they're really playing well.
They got speed, they got size, they got a great quarterback, great wide receiver in Robert Jackson, and they lead 26-6. Romanchik putting it up down the sidelines, intended for West, and he made the catch, and he's inbounds all the way inside the 40, down at the 37-yard line. Warren West, the defensive back on the play, was turned around, didn't know where the ball was, and West with a good concentration in the catch.
Excellent. Plus, actually, they could have called interference on Willis. He kind of stepped on him. Is this Sieg or Romanchik?
Romanchik.
He gets it out there. Now, West makes a great adjustment. You see the way he turns around, never took his eyes off the ball. He got hit before the ball got to him, but he still made the catch. 37
yards, the receiving end of that Romanchik to Warren West play, and it's a 1st and 10 for Pennsylvania inside the 40 of Maryland. Big rush by Andre Jones. Romanchik puts it up. Smith open, can't hold on. He got it. Yeah, he did get it. Touchdown, Pennsylvania. Great catch by Terry Smith in the end zone. It looked like the ball popped out, but he held on with 2 defenders in front of him for the touchdown.
Give all the credit to Smith. That ball, he had to do a full turnaround. There were 2 defenders. Now watch. Now watch the rusher come from the top of the screen. Almost gets to the QB. I thought he hit his arm. Now watch this kid make the adjustment. There's 2 receivers there, and keeps his feet in bounds. That's the key. Made the reception, kept in bounds, and scored the touchdown.
That ball was actually tipped by the defender for Maryland. And Smith held on. Great concentration as he was falling almost out of bounds. Mike Ruth, who attempted the point after. His kick is up, and Mike Ruth converts. And now Pennsylvania will get the ball back because they still trail by 9. They have the option to receive. No doubt they will. There's a timeout in the action. Pennsylvania scored. Or rather, 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the first half. Maryland leads 26-13 over the Pennsylvania All-Stars. This is the Big 33 Football Classic, the 30th anniversary game of this high school classic, played in Chocolatetown, USA. Hershey, Pennsylvania, at Hershey Park Stadium. Harry Donahue and George Paterno here in the booth. Chris Fowler on the sidelines as ESPN presents one of the most exciting high school football games in the nation. As Eric Nichols, an outstanding quarterback. His statistics only in the first half, folks. Eric Nichols with 2 touchdowns so far, and he's back to put it up again. Pumps once. He's looking for Robert Jackson, and he won't get a chance to get it away as coming in and smothering. Quarterback Eric Nichols, Todd Pipkin, the defensive end from Central Catholic, headed for Pitt.
That's the only way they're going to stop that passing game. When they go to a 4 or 5-man rush, they have to put enough pressure on the QB. This was going to be a streak and out and up. He just didn't get enough time, and Pitt didn't come from his defensive end spot and makes the tackle.
Ooh, he never even saw. Maybe he heard Todd Pipkin, but he never saw him. He was coming from the blind side. So the sack for Pennsylvania makes it a 2nd and 20. And the ball is spotted inside the 35-yard line of Maryland, back at the 32. Nichols to throw again, rolls again to his right over the middle. Jackson, great catch at the 42, and then he's back to his own 40-yard line by Steve Ongst, the cornerback, 6'2" and 185 pounds, making the stop. He's out of Apollo Ridge, headed for the University of Pittsburgh.
Do you think Coach Mears has confidence in his passing game? He's up by 13 with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half, and he's thrown the ball from actually deep in his own territory and over the middle, where an interception could put the Pennsylvania All-Stars in position to score.
The way Nichols and Jackson are combining tonight, George, it looks like they invented the passing game.
Well, they're playing, as I say, beanball. They're just throwing the ball out there. And the offense does have an advantage in the passing.
Split backs, and with under a minute to play, Nichols again throws, and this time it's low, and it's incomplete, intended for Sacco Stevens, the tight end of the Forrestville High, where he was coached by Eric Knight. Eric Seaman was in there pressuring quarterback Eric Nichols. So it's going to be a 4th down punting situation. Pennsylvania will get the ball back. 50 seconds left in the first half, and Maryland leads 26-13.
And I'm sure they'll go for the block if they got one, because you block a punt in this area, you still can get a score. And, you know, this is what happens when you throw 3 times in a row. You don't run any of the clock out, so now they have to punt on 4th down in your own territory. And look what happened.
Made a great catch of that ball. Look at this. He still got it off. And a penalty flag down as they're going to have roughing the kicker. Eric Nichols did a great job to go up the ladder just to get it. Still got it off, and then he gets nailed.
That was a great athletic play, and when things go right, they go right. What happens, he turned that into roughing the kicker.
He gets the ball back.
And he got the ball back instead of having a block punt.
All right, here's the snap.
Now watch where this ball, watch this play. Watch him go up with his right hand.
Great catch.
Great catch.
Here they come. Has the presence of mind to still get it off. Look at this. 5 and 6 blue shirts, and then, ooh, the sandwich. And Eric Nichols goes down, and right behind him comes a yellow flag.
You don't want to do that too often, though. If your leg won't stay in one piece.
That's a heck of a kidney punch somebody delivered on Eric Nichols. The penalty is going to be marched off against Pennsylvania. It'll put the ball all the way down to the Pennsylvania 44-yard line. So 38 seconds left. Plenty of time for Eric Nichols to get 6 more with that speedster Robert Jackson.
And I'm sure that's what they're going to do.
1st down.
Jim McConaughey marching it off and explaining the infraction, and Eric Nichols will put it in play with 38 seconds remaining in the half. Maryland leads 26-13 over Pennsylvania.
For the benefit of fans, that's always roughing the kicker or running to the kicker if you don't touch the ball. They did not touch the ball.
Here is Robert Jackson, split wide to the right at the bottom of your screen, and that's the direction that Eric Nichols is looking for. Can't get it off. Spindler's in there, number 70, and Spindler had him wrapped up along with a couple more Pennsylvania defensive linemen. Big Mark Spindler. Time remaining in the half, 11 seconds, 10 seconds. The clock's still going after that, and that'll probably be the final play of the half. There's Mark Spindler, the USA Today newspaper's defensive high school player of the year, and we're out of time here in the first half. That's the end of the first half of the Big 33 football game at Hershey Park Stadium with the score, Maryland 26, Pennsylvania 13. Back right after this is Ricky Waters, and Ricky got close to a 1st down, maybe a little short. Calvin Tiggle, the linebacker, at a friendly high made the stop for Maryland. We look, George, at the surge of that offensive line opening things for Rick Waters.
Now, this is a nice cut by Waters. He's trying to break it back against the grain, against that quick pursuit of that Maryland defensive line, and they are very quick.
Ricky protecting the ball a little bit better. He had some problems in that first half, holding it down a little bit, coughed it up one time in a situation down to the goal line, and it was picked up and converted into a touchdown. Romanchuk trying to elude the big rush, does, but then he is stacked up short of the 1st down yardage. Andy Dinkin from Churchill High, headed to North Carolina, was in there to wrap up and get the sack on the quarterback, Paul Romanchuk, number 14 for Pennsylvania.
Heads-up play by Romanchuk, though, but he didn't get panicky, come back up in the pocket, got back to the line of scrimmage, and this didn't try to take a play that was broken and do something that was dangerous. Pennsylvania's 2 quarterbacks are big fellows. 6'5" and 205 is Romanchuk, and Sieg, Doug Sieg, goes at 6'6" and 210. The punting unit is in, and to return number 35 there was George Bird, and this is West putting his foot to the ball. Good punt. Coming up, and now for Maryland, number 21, that is John Snyder. Snyder losing yardage as he tries to get to the other side of the field. Backtracking inside the 15-yard line and down by Jim Dieter. Out of Du Bois, headed to Penn State, 6'4" and 240, making the special team stop for Pennsylvania. So, poor field position for Maryland to start the 3rd quarter.
Well, Snyder, you know, again, he's going to be corrected. He gave went back 10 yards. He gave ground 10 yards and put his team in poor field position.
Tried to get to the open side, the wide side of the field, and it cost him.
It's not that easy.
Eric Nichols is back to quarterback for Maryland. Split backs behind him, and here's the quarterback from Gaithersburg looking to his teammate Robert Jackson, who dropped the ball at the 18-yard line. Robert may have heard some footsteps. He was looking for the defender. I believe Matt Baggett was coming up. And Jackson took his eye off the ball and dropped it.
You've heard that so many times. You try to run the ball with the ball before you catch it, but he was wide open.
Nichols now 9 for 16. He's been sacked 3 times. He's thrown 2 touchdowns. So he has not thrown an interception. There goes Robert Jackson to the sideline. And Joe Signora has been number 88 to that Maryland lineup, replacing Robert Jackson. 6:47 left in the third quarter, and Maryland leading 26-13. Jackson on the night has 7 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown included. George Bird is into the lineup as a tailback, replacing Jeff Allen for Maryland. So here we go out of the I formation as we look behind the I, and quarterback Eric Nichols. Man-for-man coverage in that secondary. Nichols on the draw. This is Bird with the football out over the 25-yard line. And finally, Steve Aunts coming up from cornerback to make the stop for Pennsylvania. Good run that time. William Henry was the ball carrier, number 33, not Bird. William Henry, and here it is again on the draw.
Okay, that's excellent play selection. It's 2nd and long. They were looking for the pass. They know Maryland likes to pass, and they run the draw play to Henry, number 33.
There's William out of
first down.
Out of Frederick High, headed for Shippensburg in Pennsylvania. Got the first down, 1st and 10, and the ball is spotted just over the 25 of the 26. Nichols short drop this time. Once again, Jackson quick out. Pins him down at the 31-yard line. Riddick, number 5, was on him, spun him around. That slowed him up, and then Matt Baggett came up and finished the play for Pennsylvania.
Ball was a little slow getting to Jackson, but again, you can see how strong he is. If you get that, complete that pass, he's going to get upfield a little bit more and almost make the first down.
Keep on rolling, keep the ball.
86 Jackson. Good size on him. Robert is 6'3", 190 pounds, about 4.5 speed. Near side of the field to the right and in out of the single back formation. The kid, Bird, I believe, stopped by Mark Spindler, the big defensive tackle in there for Pennsylvania, as on the sidelines. Injured, we told you, in the last series for Pennsylvania, the Aircast placed, looks like the left ankle of Brian Shannon, the left guard, headed for Notre Dame. We hope it's not that serious, but it doesn't look good for Brian Shannon of Wilmington High. Big fellow, 6'7", 240. It's a 3rd and 7 now for Eric Nichols and the Maryland All-Stars at their own 30-yard line. Split backs, and Eric's going to put it up. Big rush, and he can't get away. He is sacked back at the 20-yard line. Another sack by that front 5, Sean Love. Number 79 was in all over to force him out of the pocket. And number 37, Rusty Fickner, came in and helped finish him off.
Love makes the play, though. He flushes him out. And,
Love was there. There's Rusty.
And there's Rusty coming up to make the play, number 37. But Love forced him out of the pocket.
So Eric Nichols now back to punt it away. He stands inside his 10, gets off another high kick, sort of line drive there. And it's going to be returned by Ricky Waters out to the 40-yard line. And we've got a break in the action with 4:17 remaining in the third quarter. Maryland leads Pennsylvania 26-13. We'll be back right after this.
And the savings.
Leading the Pennsylvania All-Stars 26-13. And Pennsylvania has it back in pretty good field position on its own 40-yard line. Ricky Waters and Jeff Christy will form the I formation behind quarterback Paul Romanchuk. On first down, this is Ricky Waters, and Ricky is out to the 45-yard line. He's tripped up after that 5-yard gain as Bill Douglas, the nose guard, headed for Boston University out of Wild Lake High School. 6'1" and 220, made the stop.
And when they run to that right side, the Pennsylvania All-Stars, they've been averaging about 5 or 6 yards a clip. You know, Brown has not been in the game since the middle of the second quarter, and he might be injured.
We haven't seen Doug Sieg either, the quarterback, from early in that first half. Romanchuk has gone most of the way at QB for Pennsylvania. Ricky Waters sweeping to his left and at midfield and into Maryland territory and forced down at the Maryland 48-yard line. Nice job by Ricky Waters eluding a tackler at midfield and getting a couple of extra yards.
Smith, the free safety, had a shot at him, but he turned on his speed. He shows us that he can go into another gear. Watch him turn on, watch him go into a higher gear. Right here as he approaches the corner. Now he outruns number 12, Smith, his free safety, and makes the first down.
And he seems to be protecting that ball a little bit better. He doesn't hold it out there as much. A couple of times it looked like as he was putting it into the next gear, he kind of forgot about it, but then brought it back.
Well, they're still babies, and he'll learn.
First and 10 on that run by Ricky Waters. Romanchik, Jeff Christy spins, and the fullback gets about 3 yards across the 45. And finally, Mike Ritter out of DeMatha, 6'6" and 270, headed down to Arizona State, made the tackle. And on the sidelines, Maryland's all-star Kevin Rowley, the linebacker, is getting some additional tape on that left ankle. There's Kevin Rowley out of Woodlawn, headed for Howard University, 6'3" and 210. As we come back to Paul Romanchuk's give, again it's the fullback. And look at Jeff Christy at 6'2", using all of his 200 pounds to try to get another inch or two for the Pennsylvania All-Stars.
Well, that time they went back to the fullback, and they're going inside with the fullback, try to run off tackle with the tailback. And they haven't really tried to get outside. By outside, I mean around the corner.
75, they're Mike Cowan out of Archbishop Carroll High in Radnor, a suburb of Philadelphia, headed for Notre Dame. He replaced Brian Shannon, a left guard who's also headed to Notre Dame, who was injured.
2 fine broads for the lad.
3rd down and 5, penalty flag down, and so is Romanchuk. He's wrapped up at the 42-yard line. Coming in for Maryland, number 85. That's Pat Smith, a defensive end out of Good Counsel, headed for Boston University. So Pat Smith with the sack, his statistics, and it's going to now be Jim McConaughey explaining a holding penalty against Pennsylvania. So
I think that hold was on Mike Cowan, who replaced Shannon, I think.
There goes Cowan, 75, and Romanchuk is brought down by Pat Smith, but holding by number 75, Cowan of Pennsylvania. So it's going to be a 4th down punting situation. West comes in for Pennsylvania to punt it away. And back deep for Maryland will be George Bird, number 35. And the punt coming to the near side of the field. A fair catch decoy, and the ball goes into the end zone, and we brought out to the 20-yard line. The decoy set up that time by Maryland's John Snyder. So Maryland gets it back after Pennsylvania had crossed into Maryland territory into the good field position, but Pennsylvania unable to capitalize on that. And the score remains 26-13, Maryland with 1:57 left in the 3rd quarter.
Pennsylvania's last 2 possessions, it looked like they were going to generate some offense. They made a couple of first downs, and then boom.
They went to the running game.
They went back.
And it stopped. They went to the fullback a couple times on the dive, and they weren't able to get the first down conversion.
Got to get a little better balance between their running and passing.
So a scoreless 3rd quarter. It was 26-13 at halftime, and with under 2 minutes down the 3rd quarter, it is still 26-13. And then the ball game at quarterback is Tom Green for Maryland. And everybody on that front 5 for Pennsylvania was in on that stop.
Lead option right.
Z5 option something right.
That coach has been around for a while.
All right, let's see if this option play works. There are messengers, both teams using wide receivers as their messengers. Number 22 for Maryland going to the sidelines is Jeff Allen. He's a tailback. And here's Maryland now with split backs behind quarterback Tom Green. Wide receivers to both sides. Jackson going in motion there, 86 on 2nd down. Here's the option with Green, and he's tripped up and stopped. Looked like 84. Eric Seaman, the big end from 96. Westchester East.
Pro right, 96. We got to pick.
Well, he played the option perfectly that time. He took the quarterback, closed in on him, and made the tackle.
All right, something to the right side this time. There's John Harbaugh. He has been having really, I guess, a fantasy tonight. Offensive coordinator with these rules, George, you can put a lot of points on the board.
You're sure you can make, especially with that passing game they got.
40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Let's see what Tom Green does for John Harbaugh this time on 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. At his own 19-yard line. Long count and a flag. And we may have offsides called again. There was some movement on that right side of Pennsylvania's defensive line. Every team, both teams, I should say, playing the basic 5-2. Todd Pipkin, I believe, out of Central Catholic, was offside. So, John, you got 5 yards without even running a play. What do you want to do this time?
5 more yards. We need 5 more to keep it alive. 5 more to keep it alive.
Come on up. Sit down.
Green is a sprint out option type quarterback. He has split backs behind him on 3rd and 5. Quick out to the sideline, picked off by Riddick, and Riddick's got a touchdown. Touchdown, Pennsylvania. Louis Riddick with the interception and the touchdown. He ran it back from 31 yards out, and Pennsylvania's back in the ball game. It's 26-20.
That's what's known as going to the well once too often. Riddick anticipated that, perfectly stepped in front of the ball. It wasn't a sprint out, it was just a quick out, and Riddick did a remarkable job.
Robert Jackson, the intended receiver.
They anticipated they would go to that big receiver, steps in front. Again, going to the well once too often, breaks the tackle and takes it in for the touchdown. And this Pennsylvania team is right back in it.
He had a convoy going down that far sidelines. 31 yards on the interception and touchdown. Tom Green got hurt on this play. As we look from behind him, look at Riddick step in front of Jackson, and then the race is on. He's got a convoy of blockers down here at the goal line. Gets a good block there from number 98. His teammate there is Andre Powell. And Andre, the linebacker, showing some good speed, leading the way for Louis Riddick, Penn Ridge High, and Percy headed to Pittsburgh. And Mike Ruth comes on now to attempt the point after touchdown. Louis huffing and puffing on the sidelines. And here's Mike Ruth to convert the point after. Got it up and through. 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Pennsylvania has broken onto the board here in the 3rd quarter and draws within 6 of the Maryland All-Stars. 26-20 as time is running down here in the 3rd quarter. As now Pennsylvania draws within 6 in this big 33 game.
And Mike Godfrey must be real happy about Riddick.
Break in the action here in Hershey. Maryland leading 26-20. We'll be back right after.
Pennsylvania now is within 6 points, and a penalty flag is down on that kickoff on this far side of the field. Looks like possibly offside. Steve Onks may have gone over the line before Ruth put his foot to the ball.
And we'll have another kickoff. 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. It's Maryland 26 and Pennsylvania now making a game of it as Pennsylvania's got 20 points. There's the offside call by Jim McConaughey, our referee this evening here at Hershey Park Stadium. Quite a week for these 66 high school players, though, George, here in Hershey. The Big 33 Association putting on quite a week for them. They've had a chance to live with host families in the Hershey area. They had a trip to Hershey Park, the amusement center. Of course, the whole Hershey Chocolate Factory tour, lots of candies, not too much protein maybe, but plenty of sweets.
Some of them would like to burglarize the chocolate factory, I think, by the some of them are so big and they love the candy thing. But the Pennsylvania people, the Pennsylvania players are right in this game. When you're only down by 6 and you got a full quarter to go, you have a good chance of winning.
And here is the kickoff from 5 yards back. And this is Jim Signora over the 30-yard line. And number 88, Signora, is dragged down at the 32 by Don Grimm out of Southmoreland High School, where he was coached by Bob Thompson. He's headed to Notre Dame, a linebacker. And if Grimm, that name sounds familiar, it should, because his brother out of the Washington Redskins, Pro Bowler Russ Grimm, who also played in this game and was here last night at the banquet that was put on for these players.
And Rush played at 210 as a linebacker, and now is a 280-pound lineman for the Washington Redskins. So you know how they grow.
Our 3rd quarter has come to an end here in the Big 33 game for 1987. Maryland leads Pennsylvania 26-20, and we'll be back right after this.
Maryland trying to win for the first time as the Maryland Stars lead Pennsylvania 26-20. And Eric Nichols is at quarterback. 1st and 10, and the ball is spotted at his own 20-yard line. He has split backs behind him. Robert Jackson comes in motion. Nichols with the toss. This is Jeff Allen across the 20. Puts his shoulder down and got 3 yards. And then is backtracked. Andre Powell, linebacker out of York, headed for Penn State, and his fellow linebacker Don Grimm met, converged, and then brought to the turf Jeff Allen. Picked up 3 to Jeff as he goes to the sidelines, being used as a messenger.
That was the play that Allen broke for the touchdown on the option. They were trying to get around the corner again with the option.
George Bird is in there as the tailback in that I formation behind Eric Nichols, the quarterback. 2nd and 7. That's Bird coming in motion to the near side. And Nichols instead gives to his fullback. And That's Eric Andrews on the carry. The stop is made by Sean Love. And the play comes in now again. Jeff Allen coming in from the sideline. It's going to be another critical third down, George. Third and long, third and about 7.
Well, what started off is a lot of offensive fireworks. It certainly turned out to be a defensive ball game in the second half.
Under 3 minutes remaining in the football game. Remember, should it end in a tie, we would have the tiebreaker. Each team would get 4 chances to get it in from the 10-yard line. On 3rd and 7, Eric Nichols. Short drop over the middle, and it is incomplete. Incomplete out over the 30-yard line. He was looking for Brian Allred, who already caught a touchdown. Mike Beasley came up, made a super play to separate the ball from the intended receiver, Brian Allred.
See how much better they're reacting to the ball once it's in the air. Actually, Allred didn't even see it. He took it a little too deep, and by the time he broke, the ball was firm.
So Nichols again will punt it away, and Ricky Waters is back with Terry Smith to return it. Nichols standing at his own 11-yard line with 2:39 left. And once again, he has to go up to get it. No rush, though. He line drives it. It should be a return. Takes one hop. Ricky Waters, 40. Open field at the midfield line, and now into Maryland territory, and he high steps out of bounds. And Ricky Waters almost broke it. And he has given the Pennsylvania All-Stars great field position at the Maryland 45 as Scott Andrews was there to force him out of bounds.
What happened on that play is the ball bounced. The coverage team let up for 1 second. Waters got a good bounce on it, come up in that little seam and almost broke it.
Well, Eric Nichols that time line drived it, and then it one hopped into Ricky Waters' hands, and this is what he did with it. Broke the tackle there and just ran out of room on the right side of the field. So with 2:27 remaining in the football game, it's Pennsylvania's football at the 44-yard line of Maryland.
Now you would wonder if they have a 2-minute drill. I don't know how they could possibly put it in with so little time to get ready for the game, with so little practice time. We'll see what happens.
I formation. Doug Sieg looks long. He's going to try to get it all right here. He's got Smith open. He's got it inside the 5-yard line.
Well, I'm sure Joe Paterno's pleased with Smith because that's the second big catch he's made.
Terry Smith inside the 5-yard line from Doug Sieg. So that's a future Penn State combination.
Well, actually, it wasn't a great pass. He gets it out there, but watch Smith come back to the ball. This kid has great concentration. You see that? He does a 3/4 turn, goes up. He's only about 5'8" and makes the reception.
Trevor Smith, the free safety, trying to guard Terry Smith. Look at Sieg get buried after he delivered that pass. It's a 1st and goal for Pennsylvania at the 4-yard line. This is Brown, and Brown's over the right side to the 2, maybe the 1-yard line. Goes Gary Brown for Pennsylvania. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they lined up in a power I that time. It's the first time they showed it, a goal line offense. Got an extra blocker up there in front of the ball carrier.
1:45, and the clock stops. Pennsylvania faced now with a 2nd and goal, and the ball is 2 yards away from what would amount to the equalizer. And there's a break in the action with 1:45 left in the football game. Maryland leads 26-20, and we'll be right back after this.
Race Day America presents the first ever back-to-back coverage of 5 auto races around the world. Monday, see the world's richest quarter horse race. The greatest fall ever starts with a total sports Labor Day weekend on ESPN.
What's his name? Victor? Or a lead up there.
1:45 remaining in the football game in regulation because we may go a little overtime with the tiebreaker. It's 26-20 in Pennsylvania. Is knocking at the 2-yard line as we go right into the huddle for the defense. It's time to suck it up, gentlemen, for Maryland. And so Doug Sieg asking for quiet from the partisan crowd in Hershey. To give us to Gary Brown, he doesn't get there. He got maybe to the 1. And then the defense held on. So it'll be 3rd and goal as Bill Douglas, the nose guard from Wild Lake, made the stop.
But they took it up inside. The best place to run on a goal line is off tackle. And
Time out!
Jim Jim Wildman wants to talk it over.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't call it before that. They got Strepanak in there. They just brought the big tackle, 343 pounds in, and they'll probably run the ball over him.
So Jim Wildman wants to go out and talk to his quarterback and his entire offensive unit. He's right in the middle of things there. Cosmo Curry is 22. He had brought the play in, and Wildman must have second thought himself. Let's see what he said.
53 ice, okay?
Well, this is something you can't do in college.
Right inside shoulder, right inside hip of the right tackle.
Shouldn't we go right power?
No, I want to go away from the power. They're all thinking power. They're all thinking power. That's where we're going to run the ISO. We're coming right here. Right power type, 53 ISO. Okay? Yeah, right up here. 1, 2, 3 is PA. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're ready. Let's go, Ralph. Do it now.
I was going to say, seeing a coach in the middle of a huddle.
Make sure you call out strong right or strong left, okay? Oh, sorry. Who's your nose? You play. Don't stand up. Get low and take away the line. Fill the gap. Let's go. Come on, big Mike.
Pennsylvania, there's Jim Wildman. He went out there with the play. He said that everybody's expecting him to come with the power I formation here. Look for the fullback dive, and maybe he's going to come up with something else.
I think he's going to run Christy over Strepanak on a quick fullback, quick pop.
3rd and goal. To give second back through Brown. He doesn't get there again. He stopped at the 1. Brown was stopped. Christy was the lead blocker and went to Brown, the tailback. So what's Wildman do now? He's got a minute left. He's down to his final down.
Well, he's got to go pull something out of the bag. What he did, he set up in a power eye, didn't go over the big right tackle, and ran an ISO away from him over the left side.
All right, look for something maybe to the right side. Rusty Fiechner, 37, checks in with the play. Brown's still in there. Here's the power I formation. Everybody tight. Sieg, the quarterback. 40 seconds to play. Sieg gives to Christy, and the defense for Maryland holds. And there may be the football game right there. Jeff Christy got the call. Maryland held. And with 35 seconds to go, Maryland takes over on downs, leading 26-20.
Well, Pennsylvania had their chance to get 4 shots from down in there. And I think possibly, you know, one of the things they say, you always run the football over your biggest and best lineman. And they went away from him a couple of times. And then when they come back to it, they just ran the fullback on a quick pop. But give credit to Maryland. That was a great goal line stand.
A great goal line stand. Maryland holding. And we have now a penalty. Let's check it out. Jim McConaughey there. The yellow flag is down. Yeah, Pennsylvania's got another shot. Pennsylvania has another shot. Half the distance. Oh, a penalty. A dead ball penalty, perhaps. Okay. It's a dead ball penalty, and
Dead ball. Personal foul. On the defense, it's a turnover. We have a first down coming out this way.
okay, so it's Maryland's ball. The penalty occurred. It was a dead ball. Look at the surge again. As Christy got the call, the handoff from Sieg. There's Christy, the fullback, and just no place to go.
That's just a straight fullback handoff, and we can't see from here. Obviously, on the inside, they did a great job in their goal line defense. They got underneath the offensive lineman, which is exactly what you have to do to stop a play like that.
And Jim Wildman frustrated. 4 chances down there, knocking on the goal line. Each time he went to his inside game, and each time Maryland was ready for it.
Shades of Penn State, Alabama for the national championship. It can happen to anybody, really.
The ball, we don't need to. We don't need to here. We got one play to run.
They're just going to run the ball back and forth in the end zone.
Good snap. Ball forward. That's all we're going to do. He's over. They have no more timeout. No, he's over. Hey, boys. They just keep coming. Drive forward. Talk the ball away. How much time? Is it 30 seconds or 35 seconds? You got to get low. Long time.
What they were discussing, John Harville, the offensive coordinator, just coming out here and saying, Eric, all we want is for you to take the safety, give them the 2 points, and the ball game is over. Meanwhile, a very frustrated Jim Wildman on the other side of the football field. So Nichols taking the snap. I don't think he's going to be down for the safety. But Now there's less than 30 seconds to go. Yeah, there's the safety call. So Nichols took the safety. They'll take the 2 points. They'll give the 2 points to Pennsylvania in this situation. It's 26-22, but now
Well, I think the key about this is they have a free kick. I mean, that's a good play.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, the kids are celebrating because they get 2 points on the safety. Because that's the design that Maryland wanted there. Jim McConaughey indicating the safety on Eric Nichols. Still 29 seconds left. The free kick, and Eric Nichols will punt it away. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Are you paying too much or your rate too high? Leave it to the good hands, people. Does your insurance bill make you want to cry?
If you're not happy with your insurance bill, join the more than 6 million families who enjoy solid Allstate homeowners protection at Sensible Allstate.